to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him and to make us think that we are better than him.
I tell women all the time is you want a man to put a ring on your finger, but you're doing everything that goes against that. Women are so quick to say MCM, Man Crush Monday, but they need to be saying men control marriage because they do. And if we realize that, then that's when we will act right. So therefore we can get that ring. Until we understand as women what men want and men understand what us women want, then there's no way that relationships will ever work themselves out the way they should be.
Damn. I don't need no one to save me. I was born to be the greatest. All that time in that basement.
What are your thoughts on the current state of dating and marriage right now in the West in 2023? What are your thoughts?
It's a mess. It's a mess. There's a lot going on, and you can think about that. Just because so many people have panels talking about relationships, it means that our relationships in general are doomed, right? There's no future for consistent relationships, okay? There's no future for honest, loyal relationships. It seems like because everybody wants to look out for themselves, but you have to be selfless when you get into a relationship. That's the first thing everybody has to realize. I don't know what kind of future it has when women are saying that they want to be cis, strong, independent, and single. That's what they want to be. And because they want to be that, how can men take them seriously? That's the first question. Second thing is that women don't want to be submissive. They think it means slavery. And that means, hey, they don't want to be in relationships. I think we're really doomed when it comes to relationships. Traditionalism is something that's of the past. It was something that worked and it was consistent a long time ago, but today it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like people have given up on relationships. Instead, they're actually settling for situationships. They're settling for the bare minimum. And I always tell women all the time is that you want a man to put a ring on your finger, but you're doing everything that goes against that. And as we know, women are so quick to say MCM, Man Crush Monday, but they need to be saying men control marriage because they do. And if we realize that, then that's when we will act right. So therefore we can get that ring. But I'm telling you today, baby mamas are glorified. Single motherhood is glorified. And that's where the disconnect is. And until we understand as women what men want and men understand what us women want, then there's no way that relationships will ever work themselves out the way they should be. I'm telling you, it's an order to relationships. There's a standard that has to be set. But sometimes women are setting their standards so high. That's another thing. Because they've given the best to the worst. And then they want to give the worst to the best. They want to give the best to the Pookies and Ray Rays, as everybody wants to say. And they're giving the worst to the Henrys, the ones who are actually on their grind, who could be a potential suitor. But y'all not giving him the opportunity because you're passing him up for the ones that look good on the outside, but they're not good for you on the inside. Specifically, as a black woman, I know that there are less black men than there are black women. So that means that every black woman isn't going to get the man that they desire. And then you start adding all these requirements on top of that. That means this man is somebody you're going to have to build at a factory, a Build-A-Bay. You're not going to be able to find all the requirements you have for a man in the man that you're actually interested in, all because he may not be interested in you. So I think we have to really go back to the drawing table, the drawing board, and figure out these standards that we have. Because some of them are so superficial that's why we're over here dreaming instead of living in reality.
So with CIS, what was the acronym for CIS? It was
strong, independent, and
strong,
single.
Independent, and single, and MCM,
Men control marriage. And then the last one is WCW. I haven't mentioned that one yet, but women control wombs. That's what relates to the fact that this whole single motherhood is happening because the women don't understand. They control the wombs. You can't blame the man after you slept with him, you have the baby, now it's your responsibility. And you can't be trying to hold this man hostage all because you set the bar so low.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that you mentioned where you said strong, independent, and single.
And to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. They made us demand things from our man that they systematically keep him from getting. So he can't give it to us. And so we married to the government. They take care of us like our man should. They give us food, clothes, shelter, health care, child care, education, an apartment. Whatever it is we need, they step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. Well,
it has all of these programs that are willing to help women. I think that has been to our detriment. It has not been to our benefit. And I think that that's one of the major reasons of the behavior of the modern woman nowadays.
Right. They're so dependent. And like you said, the government is helping, but it's really hindering. It's
Right.
hindering the women more than anything else, but they don't realize that because they're looking for those short-term rewards instead of long-term rewards and work in progress. And it's just making women lazy because they have to depend on that standard that's set by the government to think that they don't need a man, all because of the fact that they're being supplied with everything a man is supposed to supply for them, but they'll take it from the government instead because they, respect the government more than they respect men.
Do you think that modern women are requesting too much from men? I mean, you kind of did the jab already, but go for the right hook now.
Yes. I definitely think that modern women are asking too much. I think so. And the problem is that they didn't ask for too much at the beginning with the wrong ones. So now that they see that the wrong ones are now offering what the right ones would have been offering, that's when they're upping their standards. But lady, you have to keep your standards high at the beginning. If you're going to keep standards high, keep them at the beginning. Now, I'm going to adjust and add more because of all these situationships I've been in. All these men don't play me, but you played yourself. You played yourself because you set the bar low, and nobody's going to take you serious when you set the bar low from the beginning, and now you're trying to add standards to it. No, it doesn't work that way. So I think they are asking for the wrong things. It's about the aesthetics. It's about the lifestyle. But realize that the material lifestyle may not last forever. What's going to happen? It's all about through thick and thin, but they're looking at what's good for social media. They're looking for that quick fix, that validation, and they see it by, okay, a man has to look like this. The 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 feet. That's what they say. Those are the standards, right? And that's just so, I don't know. I can't even tell you. It's mind-boggling, to say the least, that women think that just because a man looks like a certain way on the outside, then that's when I'm going to take him serious. No, it's not. Right. But I think that a lot of people are receiving validation from their sisterhoods, their circles, that are telling them that it's okay to have these high standards. Keep your standards, girl. Be single first before you take a man that. Like, you don't understand about the word compromise. That's the problem. Women don't understand about that because they've really submitted to the wrong man. They submitted to a man who wasn't even their husband, and knowing that's why nothing worked for them in the past. But I think that's what it comes from. It's like, I'm going to readjust my standards each and every time. But as you get older, that dating pool is getting lower and lower, right? That's the problem. Is that it's already that men are at a shortage. And then now you're going to add all these requirements. So now you're trying to get to the 1%er when you really the 99th percentile. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are this big amount of people, of modern women, and you're trying to fight for this top man. What do you bring that's so valuable that other women aren't bringing? You all look the same.
Right. So it's like you have a Honda Accord, and the Honda Accord typically takes like 87 gas, but then you're trying to put 93 gas in it. But it really should be taking 87 gas. Or that's like saying, like, you have a Ferrari, you've been driving a Ferrari for about 5 or 6 years, and you have maybe about 100,000 miles on it. It's still a Ferrari, but the Ferrari is gonna need a tune-up a lot more. It's gonna need a lot more maintenance. Then you want to try to say that someone with an 800 credit score can get a Ferrari that has 100,000 miles on it. You're definitely asking for way too much. The juice is not worth the squeeze. The woman submitted for the wrong kind of man, and then when the right man comes along, you're asking him to do things that the wrong man did. So It's like, you, in essence, you played yourself. You're absolutely correct.
And I'd look at it like cat facts. That's what I call it. Instead of Carfax, call it cat facts, and realize that mileage, it plays a role.
I got you.
Yeah, so that mileage plays a role. It really does, but you don't think, since men don't see it from the outside, that it doesn't count. But every woman has a cat facts. That's what it is. And the more mileage you put on it, the least that man is going to be interested in riding it, in pursuing it, in purchasing the vehicle, to say the least. So that's just the way it is. It is what it is. The data's there to show that literally when women are out here being promiscuous like that and they end up getting married, let's say, they are less interested in activity with their partner. They're less satisfied with their partner, all because they've had all these previous experiences. That's why I say the cat facts matters. Hashtag the cat facts matters, because it really does. Let's talk about it real briefly. Blac Chyna. You know, we all hope that she will continue down this path, that it's not just for publicity. It's not just for relevancy again. It's not just for status. I really pray that she's going to be on her way towards being an example for those modern women who are looking up to her to not be like her anymore. She's going and she's getting her, I think she got a doctorate in theology, something like that. So a total 180, right? So we're hoping that she's making the right decisions to set the standard. But I'm saying there's so many other modern women out here that women can look up to. And you see that she's gone ahead and took all those injections out of her, and she's trying to be normal again. That's to let you know that it didn't matter how many injections she had inside of her, how much Botox and lifts and dips and tips and whatever she got done to herself. It didn't stop her from realizing that that's not enough. That's not enough for me to get the ring that I want, right? To be the woman that I really desire to be. Because who wakes up one day as a little girl and says, I want to be for the streets one day? No, it's about the influence. It's about the fact you think you want to be for the streets because of that temporary validation you get from the Pookies and Ray Rays. Men who are of no status. Men who have nothing going on for themselves. It takes a whole lifetime to build up a reputation and a second to ruin it. A second to ruin it, and then a whole lifetime to build it back up again. That's why I tell you, set the standard now, ladies. So you won't have to be in this modern woman category. People think just because I'm young, I may be considered a modern woman, but you have to look at the actions of that woman, not just because she's young. So I know there's women out here, maybe even women in the chat, who don't fit that category, but it's just that so many are people that are modern women are getting the validation, they're getting the press. That's why everybody thinks all women are modern women, and that's not the case. But since men see that as a standard, you know, they see modern women as what most women are, that's why they leave it. That's why they're leaving, and I understand that.
Now I'm wearing gold chains like I'm famous.